This is the Ranger Report Podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben and CJ Berryman.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Ranger Report Podcast. I am happy to not be in my truck this time. Welcome back to everybody. If you'll see our podcast with Eric Nadell. I got stuck at work and had to go in my truck to do the interview, so the audio is fantastic, CJ.
Oh, between me and Eric, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that audio was great. I sound like I'm in a tin can, which, you know, everyone loves terrible audio. But tonight we are joined by Robyn Hearn. Robyn, how are you?
Hey, you didn't nurse her right. You didn't nurse right. Lady Ranger Report.
That's right.
Robyn Hearn. Rockin' Robyn. Tweet. Tweedledee.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing all
well,
right.
I guess we have to start with the big news around your brother. He got engaged.
Yes, he
You're gonna
did.
be- You're going to be a sister-in-law.
I know. That's exciting.
So how privy were you ahead of time to how he was going to do it and what he was planning on doing? Did he talk to you about it at all, or did he just kind of go with it?
No, so my mom and I kind of were coming up with ideas for him. So Taylor, I mean, love him to death, but ideas are not really something that he's good at doing. So he was asking us like some ideas, and my mom was actually the one like coming up with the idea of doing the escape room, and Taylor really liked the idea, so that's what he went with. And it was honestly very unique. I've never seen anything like that before.
That's cool.
Yeah, it beats mine. I just, I'm divorced now, but when I got married and proposed my wife, I just surprised her in bed. We woke up one morning and I said, "Hey, by the way, here's this ring."
By the way.
And I spent a lot of money on that ring, and I was like, "Hey, you want to marry me?" And it was a total shock to her. I wanted it to be as normal as possible. So, it worked out pretty well. But it's planning that thing out, and now it's out of Taylor's hands. Now it's out of Taylor's hands. Just let the ladies plan everything, and just let them do whatever they want, because you're not going to win.
Yeah, I think he's starting to run into that right now because they've been looking at venues and trying to figure out some stuff. And my mom went with them to see one venue, and she was, telling Taylor about things like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm like, you don't know any of this stuff. You don't know, you don't know what we're talking about at all. Like, I'm a planner. Like, I've been planning my wedding since I was 12. And
that's what girls do. That's what girls do, though.
Yeah. Taylor doesn't care.
No, my wife and my mother-in-law had a notebook of like things. They were just waiting for me to ask so that they could get started on everything. I had nothing to do with any of it. I just kind of smiled and showed up on the day we got married.
Yeah, the only thing I said with my wedding was, "Look, I'll show up in my Air Force uniform with my ribbons and everything looking shiny. Y'all do the rest."
Yep.
And, there's no point in trying to get involved in that. All you do is get cat scratched.
Yep.
Exactly.
Just let the ladies do their thing. So how's election treating you? I know you kind of doubled up this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Working election, you kind of doubled up on both sides. So you've been busy.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy until the end. I think once we were getting like the final results coming in and everything like that, that's when it kind of got haywire. I really didn't have to do much because I'm sports, and I literally stick to just doing sports most of the time. So I just helped out with just election numbers and that sort of thing.
See, when I was a sports writer in Killeen, they asked me to switch over to news for one night for the elections, and I was like, no. I said, "Hey, I'm working on 2 stories here," and they were like, "But this is important." I'm like, So are my stories. So no, I don't. There's a reason I didn't get into straight news. No, I'm a sports journalist, not a news journalist. No. I did not want to get into that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll tell y'all both as a sports guy. I used to be much more into politics when I was younger than I am now. I still keep up, but it's very important. But the reason I like sports is because it gets me away from all the very important stuff and lets me talk about things that are fun and enjoyable and entertaining.
Exactly.
To me, politics aren't fun and enjoyable; they're necessary.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah, especially nowadays. So what are the Wichita teams looking like here going forward, both football and volleyball?
So for volleyball, we still have, I think I'm counting right, there should still be about 3 to 4 teams still in it. So they're in the regional tournament right now. So that gets started on Friday. So we have a team going to Lubbock, another one going to the Fort Worth area, another one I think is going to be down in St. Angelo. So we got all that stuff happening. And then football is just getting started with by districts. So we have quite a few teams still in it, but once by districts get going, the numbers will start to go down a little bit.
Yeah, and the team that's coming to Lubbock is going to face Hereford. So I will be reminding you of that. My Lady White Faces, man. We've been known as a volleyball powerhouse for, heck, since before I even got to high school. So
yeah.
There's just a I don't know. Brenda Kitten is a Hall of Famer. She's a Hall of Fame high school coach. She still works there, and now the head coach McCracken played under Brenda. Played under Catherine Bevel, who played under Brenda, and Catherine won 2 state titles under Brenda. Catherine's my age, so yeah, it's a volleyball lineage that it's not going to stop, apparently. So
yeah.
Well,
no, I completely understand that.
Before I was in high school, they didn't have sports. That's how old I am. So they started them right around the time I got into high school. So no, I'm just kidding. But
so Robyn, you listened to our interview with your brother. What did you think?
He's gotten way better at interviews. I will say that.
Yeah, he has.
He's definitely gotten better at interviews. So
he was way relaxed with us. He was way relaxed.
For sure. Well, no, I definitely try to train him up to be better.
Yeah, to be honest, though, the first time we interviewed him, we were nervous too because that's the first time we talked to him. So it was a little more relaxed the second time around for both sides.
that was the last day before the lockout too.
Yeah, so he had to be careful.
Yeah.
We knew what was about to come down. So
each of us were being like very, very, I guess, tenuous. Is that the word?
Yeah, that's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Very tenuous about what we asked, and I did ask him if he could talk to Corey Seager and to give me a loan. And he said his response was, "I think he can give us all a loan."
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's just going to be Taylor who'd want some money.
Yeah.
So we talked.
Oh, go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, we talked to Eric Nadell just the other day, and he said Tony Beasley is expected to be back on the staff, and I was so happy to hear that. And I know, really any Rangers fan, especially you and Taylor. Watching that video of him serenade y'all with the happy birthday was so cool. But Tony Beasley is just a genuine guy that you want around your team. Do you agree?
Oh, for sure. He's been here for a while, so he understands not just organization, but he understands like the certain players that have come in here. So he's seen the Rangers at their highs and he's seen them at their lows. And this past season was definitely a low, but the one thing about him I will say is that he's always been a positive person.
Yeah.
I've only known him for a couple of years because Taylor started through the minor league system, so we didn't really get a chance to meet him until he got up to the majors, but he's always been a ray of sunshine, always had a smile on his face, and really just somebody that you want in your dugout, and especially you want around your players in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I've talked to him several times when I've gone to games, and he's such a super nice guy. And speaking of attitude, one thing we talked to your brother about, and I told him I was super impressed with was his attitude with the way things went for him? Because 2022 probably didn't go like Taylor wanted it to go. He started out as a starter, wound up going to Round Rock, coming back up, and then just pitched lights out of the bullpen to finish out the season. And he handled all that so well. What was that like for you and his mom and everyone to kind of watch him go through what he went through in 2022?
It wasn't easy because I think for me and my family, we're so used to seeing Taylor as a starter. So to see him come out of the bullpen wasn't like anything crazy, but we knew that Taylor has always been a great pitcher. So it's not like him coming out of the bullpen was a bad thing because there's so many great bullpen pitchers. So I was excited to see him kind of get through that, but it was kind of, I don't want to say nerve-wracking, but it was emotional a little bit at the beginning, but honestly, for us as a family, as long as he's okay, we're okay. I mean, I will say I get more nervous when he's in the bullpen than I do as a starter. Even though Taylor says it's like the opposite for him, but I'm like, not for me. As soon as I see the notification say Taylor Hearn's coming in for so-and-so, I'm like, oh God. Oh God, no.
And actually speaking, I'm a former pitcher, and I actually, when you're starting, there's like that build up, and there's just this whole anxiety and stuff. And when you're coming out of the bullpen, though, it's like, hey, you're up, go warm up, and then bam, you're in the game, and then you just pitch. So you don't really have time to think. I think maybe Taylor, this is just my opinion. But I think he maybe was thinking too much going into the starter games. And then in the games that he got caught out of the bullpen, he didn't have time to think. So he just went out there and pitched. And that's the Taylor we want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No, I agree. I think he definitely has to think differently when he's in the bullpen. He can't really, not saying he can't really think the same, but his mentality has to be a little bit differently because you never know what the situation is that you're going to go into. So you have to be quick on your feet. Whereas a starter, he's totally fine with just, going out there and trying to set the tone the best he can.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's the thing is you want to go out there and set the tone, but sometimes, I mean, and he said it to us, he just finished his first full season, he's a young guy. And it's not like he's Roger Clemens or anything just yet, He mentioned Nolan Ryan and how many years Nolan Ryan spent in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And then they turned him into a starter. So he's like, I'm not turning his attitude is just so awesome.
Yeah.
He won't, he's like, I'm going to do whatever is best for the team. I'm going to prepare for whatever they tell me to do. I'm just blessed by God by being here. And, he's the top 1% of the 1%, that's made the major leagues. So, so he just right now he's just riding the roller coaster. And now he's got his feet wet and he's getting his feet on the ground. So now he can settle in.
Yeah.
Yes. No. And I completely agree. And like I said, being in the bullpen is not a negative thing. It's honestly a positive thing.
Not at all.
Yeah. And so I know that one day Taylor will be back as a starter. So I'm not really worried about that. I think for him, his main thing was just like he said, he wants to make sure that he can do what's best for the team and do what he knows how to do. And that's just to pitch.
Yeah. And Ben, you can maybe agree with me on this or disagree. He kind of reminds me of the Alexia Gondo role. Power arm starter coming out of the bullpen that can go multiple innings. But he's also left-handed and he comes 97. That's an effective weapon that can play on a playoff team. So it's not like he's not going to have a role. I mean, that's there's a role here for him for sure. You can't find. I mean, look around the league. How many left-handed guys do you know that can come out and pitch 2 to 3 innings out of the bullpen, throwing 97, 98?
Yeah,
and get guys out the way he did at the end of the season. So I think he proved that there's huge value in what he can bring to a championship team, which that's what they're building. And I'm sure you saw we got Jake Odorizzi today. So the Rangers aren't messing around. So
no, yeah. free agency is about to be kind of crazy.
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of that, now it's being called the Martin Perez saga. What do you think about the fact that the Rangers have not inked him yet to a new deal?
I'm kind of like most of the fans. It's kind of surprising. One, because seeing Martin this season is a completely different Martin than what Ranger fans saw the first time around. Yeah. I believe that the Rangers are going to offer him something. I hope it's the right number. I hope it's that number, that sweet number that gets him to stay. Because you need somebody like him on your rotation. I mean,
there is a sweet number. I can tell you right now. It's there. It's there.
Yes, there's always a sweet number. So I hope that they keep him. I think he's a great has great leadership in the locker room. Definitely. For Taylor, when we talk about him, he says that Martin is really helpful, and you find a lot of guys like kind of gravitating toward him. And I think that's what the Rangers need to also consider. I mean, of course, you want to look at his product on the field, but you also have to look at his product in the locker room, because you want guys who, one, want to win championships, but two, want to build up some of their younger guys. Because this was looking at their entire pitching staff, it was pretty young this year.
Super young. Especially with John Gray missing so much time. But that sweet number is they're expected to extend Martin a qualifying offer at $19 million. That's more than he has made, I believe. I'm trying to verify this.
Yeah, he only made $4 last year.
He made $4 last year. I think $19 million. He's going to make more in 1 year than he made the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he bet on himself for one more year and took that qualifying offer for a 1 year deal and then saw what happened after that. And I think the Rangers would be happy with that too.
Negotiate next offseason, And he's super comfortable being back home. I mean,
he loves it here.
He had a sub-3 ERA. He was super comfortable. He's a very good influence on the locker room, like you said, Robyn. And I just think it's a comfortable situation for both the Rangers and Martin. If he takes that qualifying offer of 19, it's actually a little over 19, between 19 to 20 million.
Yeah,
for 1 year, which he has not seen, in his entire career. So
I pay you close to that, CJ.
Yeah. Give me about.
It's 19.81 without the million at the end of it.
Yeah. I was going to say, give me 19.8 million, and subtract that, and that's cool.
No, I want to touch on him being home. It was really nice because since we sit with all the families, it was really nice on days that he did start to see all of his family there. I mean, moms, now fiance, just cousins, all of that. It was great to see that because I don't know, for me being from a baseball family, getting to see another baseball family be so supportive, especially of a pitcher, it's really nice. And it makes you feel more at home. And I know he probably felt more relaxed this season than any other season, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that with Eric Nadel, and he seemed to agree that, this is home to him. And he got to go out and take his lumps elsewhere, and kind of learn the pitching. And Taylor brought this up that you could tell. He's been in the game for a long time. Taylor's like, I've only been in the game, 1 full year, really 1 full year. Yeah. And, Martin, and you can tell Martin's been there. He's figured it out. He's figured out what works for him. He said, I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. And he said, Dane Dunning's still doing the same thing. Cole Reagan's still, all those young guys, AJ Alexi. We can go on down the list. John Gray's figured it out.
Yeah.
And, those are 2 good examples. And I hope the Rangers keep them there. And now, with the trade of Odorizzi, you got 3. So,
yes, sir.
I'm excited about it. I can't wait till tomorrow. We're going to be busy. I'm sure you're going to be busy, Robyn.
Yeah, I was actually just putting the Ranger stuff into my show with the trade and stuff. That's the one plus is that when stuff happens for the team, I am allowed to talk about it. So that's like the big positive.
It's the same here. We can find out things before they happen, but we can't talk about it until
they happen. Yep.
You don't want to lose your sources.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing is like, I know things. Well, I didn't know about the Odorizzi trade or anything, but we find out things before they kind of happen. And, I have to be a sister before a reporter, which I'm totally fine with, because I would never ever do that to Taylor nor the team. But sometimes it's kind of cool where I'm like, guess what's about the drop, guys? You don't know, but I do.
I'll tell you what, that is kind of a good feeling, isn't it?
It's a great feeling.
When you know something ahead of time and you're sitting there just smiling like, I know what's about to happen.
Yep.
And the thing...
Go ahead, Rob.
No, the thing that gets me is like the Josh Young thing. I didn't know when it was actually going to happen, but I had a feeling it was going to happen soon. Taylor didn't really know, but I think it was like the murmur around the clubhouse and everything.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah. And so it was one of those, like, we knew it was going to happen. And I was just really interested to see what the fans were going to say, because that was like all they were saying since he got cleared. And I love what the Rangers did with the video when they announced that he was getting called up with the tweets and stuff. I thought that was so funny.
That was great. They do. I'll tell you what, I don't know who runs the Rangers social media account, but they do a really good job, especially at making fun of themselves. They do a great job and reaching out and poking fun of fans. They do such a good job, whoever runs that account.
Yeah. I was on the phone with one of my sources. When it was actually rumored that Trevor Story, the Rangers were in contract negotiations with Trevor Story, and then all of a sudden it changed. I was on the phone with one of my sources when he got that news that Corey Seager was in the play. Yeah, and he was like, "I got to go," and I was like,
"Yeah." He hung up on you.
He hung up on me, and so the next day, bam, we interviewed Taylor. Corey Seager's a Ranger, and so is Trevor Siemian. So
Marcus Siemian.
Marcus Siemian. Trevor Siemian's the quarterback of the.
He is. Yeah, that's all right. You were close. All right. Well,
I'm an idiot.
On that note, Robyn, thank you so much for joining us.
That's where we sign off right there.
Yeah, that's where we sign off right there. Robyn, thank you so much. Don't work too hard.
I'll try not to. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Get some sleep,
we always love it. Yeah, thanks, Robyn. Have a great show tonight.
I still owe you Papados.
Oh yeah, we still gotta go.
All right.
We'll
see you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.